I'm a solo founder. I would say that majority of financing comes from my pocket. The way engineering industry is now evolving is they are complete hostages of ecosystems, private ecosystems designed to restrict ability of engineers to switch to other products. Lots of effort is just wasted. I believe that each company can promote itself by publishing open research data. The future of engineering is that we break away from these chains, maybe not completely, but in some sense, and engineers could use Spline Cloud to facilitate each other.
Hello everyone, my name is Oksana Krykun and I'm the host of Seeds of Bravery podcast, where I'm talking to different entrepreneurs about their journey and what they are creating. And stop reinventing the wheel, spend more time on innovation. This is the slogan of today's guest of Seeds of Bravery podcast. We are talking with Ukrainian innovators and entrepreneurs who are shaping the future, and our guest today is the founder of Spline Cloud, an open knowledge management platform designed for engineers and scientists. Spline Cloud streamlines the process of managing and sharing complex technical data, including the results of simulations and far more. So the platform makes it easy to collaborate, exchange insights, and accelerate innovation. Joining us now is Vadym Pasko, the founder of Spline Cloud. Vadym, welcome.
Hi, Oksana. Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to meet you here. Thanks for this opportunity to talk a little bit about my startup and about the whole process of engineering and exchange of knowledge in science and engineering. Thank you.
It is our pleasure to have you here too and to get to know more about your product. So let's start by your idea. Tell us more about your product. So what is that? For whom it is designed? I already represented some stuff, but still just tell us more.
Sure, no problem. So basically, as you said already, we are creating a knowledge management, open knowledge management platform for engineers and scientists. In a few words, it's kind of a GitHub, but for engineers and scientists. And opposite to GitHub, we are not focused on code, but focused on data, on results of calculations, simulations, material properties, and other technical stuff that is used for creating calculations and complex optimization processes, other things that researchers usually face during their career, during their process of studying, actually, and developing complex products.
Mm-hmm. And how did you come up with the idea? How do you understand that there is a problem on the market which needs to be solved with the help of this type of solution?
Yeah, I would say this is basically dictated by my experience. So I have 10 years of experience in aerospace industry. And starting with the very first days of my career, I noticed that engineers are usually doing the same stuff again and again. So this was one side of the problem. And another side of the problem is that to derive some estimations and maybe write some mathematical models, you usually have to rely on some data. And this data is usually not available. So, for example, when you're designing a multi-stage rocket, for example, the space rocket, you usually have to consider the relations of the tank mass to the propellant mass and other things that are very high-level entities. And they encapsulate all this complexity of design of these tanks. But the relations are quite simple, but you don't have this data. So engineers are usually using statistical data, old data that was created before them. And this data is relied on non-existent technologies that were used before them. And to improve this process, you need actual data. So you need to have something that is more up-to-date and using new technologies. So this is two sides of the problem. It's accessibility of data and its reusability in the sense of making some calculations and building mathematical models.
Is there a red line between the data and know-how and sharing this data? Because I understand, and this is my assumption, that at some point as a researcher, I have some data, which is kind of crucial for me, but I don't want probably to share it with others because it's my know-how. So how do you manage work with that?
Yeah, excellent question. And I would say this is a number one question that everybody asks. I would say the answer is quite simple. There is a barrier between closed data, private data that belongs to companies, to researchers, and we don't force anybody to share this data. And there is no sense of sharing this data. But there is abundance of data that is open, but is not available to access. So, for example, we can take publication in journal. So it definitely relies on open research and contains data. Some publications may rely on closed research and only publish results, but usually based on the information in the publication, you can understand the method, you can understand what data is derived and insights that you can reuse in your calculations. But this publication is not in a sense of reusable form of data. So attaching data sets and explaining how to use these data sets is one point towards reusability. And another way is to make data first repositories instead of publications. So this is our approach. And I would say that open data is there. It's just not in the form and not in the way it has to be done for making easier to reuse this data.
Cool. And concerning these insights and your answer, let's talk about the customers and users of this product. So who are the users now, which you envisioned, and probably how did your user hypothesis changed over time on one side, and also the same about the customers, the buyers who are paying the money for this. Let's elaborate on this more.
I would say that we started from the very basic hypothesis that we want to facilitate the process of designing and engineering, and also research and science in general, but with a major focus towards mechanical engineering due to my bias towards this field of knowledge. And we tried different hypotheses who may benefit of using Spline Cloud. So in the end, after several years, we came out that there are lots of players that actually can benefit of using Spline Cloud. So we can say that our core community researchers, those can be PhD students, those can be workers of R&D departments that are actually working with data, working with simulations, with experiments, and they actually publish results in scientific journals, right? So those are one side of our ecosystem, right? And on the other side, we can see the universities that actually can benefit of incorporating our solution in their education process, in their process of working with industry. And industry as well can benefit of using Spline Cloud because it can be seen as a mediator between science and engineering, right? So when we talk about some complex research process that in the end gives you some function that you can reuse in your design optimization, and you apply to university to make this research, and this research can be shared openly or it can be shared privately with our private repositories, then definitely everyone wins from this situation. And there is another group of customers that we see is manufacturers of some goods, some components, mechanical systems. They actually, what they're doing right now, they publish data sheets of their products on with their websites. Those data sheets contain critical data that engineers use to validate if this component fits to their systems. But these data sheets are not in a reusable form. Those are just PDFs with some graphs and other things. And we see that those manufacturers can benefit of using Spline Cloud for marketing purposes. They can create repositories with data that is easy to reuse in calculations, and in this way facilitate engineers to waste less time on validating their products in their designs. So these are different scenarios of using our platform, but we are focused on giving value to all players that are listed.
Let's talk about the aspect of the value and about the features. I don't usually love talking about the features because it's more about the benefits, but for all of those scientists, because obviously some of the scientists are listening to us too, and probably those are aerospace engineers or, like potential customers of your product. So what your product gives them, like which opportunities it encloses to them?
Mm-hmm. I may use some technical terms, so please forgive me if I do.
We will. Just a
Actually,
short answer here.
yes. So actually, there is a field of study in engineering that is called knowledge-based engineering, and it says that you actually don't have to waste time on different iterations of design and repeating things that you are doing usually. It's better to focus on design optimization, so creating algorithms that would design products based on some knowledge. This broad term knowledge-based engineering can be seen in different implementations. So there are knowledge-based engineering applications inside the corporate CAD systems that help automate design processes and other things. And there are standalone programs like programmable CAD systems that allow engineers and programmers not to just design things, but to write code that will design things for them. And in this, why I'm talking about this, and this critical thing is those systems rely on knowledge base. And a knowledge base, if we're talking about design automation and algorithms, this knowledge base has to keep some properties. So it has to be reusable in code. So knowledge in this knowledge base has to be reusable in code to simplify and really enable the reuse of this knowledge in these knowledge-based systems. The idea is that we provide tools that are used by researchers to make data reusable. So those are really not complex features. It's graph digitizing tool and curve fitting tool. But those things are actually used by engineers a lot. So if you ever conducted some research, you probably had the need to extract data from graph from some article that is not reusable, the scientific article. So you extract data from this graph and validate if those results are correct, or you can use those results to rely on in your designs. So we provide this feature. It's integrated in Spline Cloud. So when you're working with data, you can extract data from graphs using our tool. And this data becomes accessible and reusable through our API in your code. And another feature is curve fitting tool. When you extracted data, and if you have data as a table, you usually trying to fit some function to this data. So data usually in engineering especially represents some relation of one parameter against another parameter. And we provide a tool that helps create those relations, and those functions, they become accessible through our API in the code. And the benefit of that is somebody has done a so-called knowledge capture process. So they digitized graphs, built relations, and those relations, if published openly in public repository, become available to others. So in this way, it saves time on doing repetitive stuff on this knowledge capture process. So
wow, sounds like an extra brain for a scientist from what you described right now.
It's like a tool that tools that they usually use in their work, but now those tools help others not to do the same work.
Okay, makes sense. And tell us more about the monetization model. Where is the money lie actually, and who is paying for what?
Okay, so currently we have no revenues. We are focused only on free subscription, and I can explain why. Because of our mission, because of our vision, we see ourselves as a social and impact platform. And our critical thing for us is the community of engineers, scientists, and students who would share data on our platform and bring the value to the whole community of engineers. So we are focusing currently on free subscription to enable researchers help each other in their process of designing and research. Monetization is another part, and we are currently diving deep into validating different business models. So one would be closed repositories, private repositories. So as we said, there is data that they don't want to publish openly, but this data can benefit their teams, and maybe this data can be seen as a private repository that they will use in the future in other design processes. So this is basic monetization model, same as GitHub. They started with the same idea. Private repositories are for money, open repositories free. Same thing is incorporated into Onshape. This is a web card system. Your designs become openly available if you are using free subscription. If you are paying for closed subscription, then your designs become private. So this is basic thing. Other thing is that we want to incorporate B2B models, and we want to work closely with universities, integrate in their ecosystems, in their education systems. So we are currently discovering these opportunities, and we think about the B2B subscription for research centers, for universities and companies who would benefit of using Spline Cloud to manage their knowledge, to enable their employees not to waste time on repetitive stuff. Mm-hmm. And the third part is that we want to help companies that are manufacturers to promote their products on our platform, as I said before, creating open repositories and sharing critical data about their products that others can use in their designs. And for that, we are thinking about a promo subscription. So these are three sides that we are currently discovering, and I think all of them would be implemented.
And let's talk about the team. So who are the founders and who is inside your team right now?
Actually, I'm a solo founder. When I started back in 2021, I joined a business incubator. I had a co-founder, Dennis, and we spent 4 months in a brainstorming process and validating different ideas. But eventually, our paths split it. Just we had different opinions towards things and how they would go. So and then the war started, and probably this was even more impactful on our break. So I'm a solo founder, and my team, they are actually my friends who were helping me in hard times, and now thanks to Seeds of Bravery, we can work more intense on our project. So I can list team members if you want.
No, just, if you can share, who are the people right now on the team by function? Because for some startups who are listening to us, it might be really interesting. So whom to add to your teams if you want to build something?
Okay, right? Yeah, it makes sense. In the middle between we had a gap because of the war, and in this gap we were bootstrapping. So I decided to focus on initial content creation. So my ex-colleague Alina, she helped me a lot with creating initial content on the platform. So that was in that period, it was critical to show how to use the platform, to show that there is some data on the platform and give example what it is. So not to keep just an empty platform. And after that, my friends Olena and Konstantin joined as a developers. So we started working on new features. We started working on the front end improvements, and then on the back end improvements. So as of now, Olena is working hard, like full stack developer on Spline Cloud. And recently, new team members joined. Actually, one of my good friends, Taras, joined as a marketing advisor last year. So we made lots of brainstorming session on go-to-market strategy and validating all those customers and their needs for that we can close with our product. So Taras is helping right now. He's leading the marketing direction. He's working part-time because he's a CMO in another startup. So it usually either you have to employ somebody full time with less experience, or you decide to employ somebody with huge experience part time. And I decided to do this, go this way. And we actually increased our team by 2 new members. Daria and Maxim joined last month. Daria is a community manager. So we are trying to focus more on communication with our potential customers. So bringing the voice about Spline Cloud and values that it can give to our customers. So she actually will be doing PR communication and community management tasks. And Maxim is my old friend. He actually doing lots of things like explanation, documentation, and use cases. And he's also developer, so he has like different roles in our project. But all our team members working part-time. So currently it's a hard time in Ukraine, so everybody have to work on several jobs.
Yeah, and let's talk about this in this context about the financing. Where did the financing came from? Did you raise any private money or grant money apart from Seeds of Bravery, or how it worked for you so to develop the product you are working on?
I would say that majority of financing comes from my pocket. I had to stop working on Spline Cloud for several times and earn money. And we raised 10K in 2021 after ending the business incubator. Those money actually helped to finalize our MVP, and release our first public version of Spline Cloud in the end of 2021. And after that, as I said, we were bootstrapping, so majority of funds came from my pocket. And now we're receiving grant from Seeds of Bravery, and I hope this money will help us to boost our marketing activities and help us to engage closely with our customers and obtain first contracts.
Cool. And let's talk a bit about the Seeds of Bravery, because I would love to understand your expectations. What did you expect from the program? You're in the mid of booster program, like the Digital and Deep Tech Acceleration one. So how is it going? What are your key insights and probably some ideas on that?
If you're interested in my opinion, I would say I would give Mark 9 of 10 to booster program. I completed
it's because I'm sitting here. Yeah, like if I were not sitting like 5 out of 10. No, just joking. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I'm actually talking truth, because I think this program, the booster program, is well designed. Lections are really focused on key aspects. Some of them cover things that I already have experience in, because I was before in the incubator. I applied to unicorn startup program by Sigma Labs, and their program was actually really good. I can advise everyone to join. And on the demo day, we actually won a prize. We took second place on the demo day. And I would say that booster program is designed well, and it actually, I have a feeling of hands-on experience. For example, my current startup advisor, Anna, she's not kind of a mentor that I would expect, because she took some job to do on her own at home. And this was like, wow, you're just doing for free a very important job for our startup. And I appreciate that very much. And I think the whole booster program is designed the way that it actually leads you towards your goals. So as I had this session with you, Oksana, and you try to identify the goals, the very critical goals that we want to achieve by the end of the booster program, I see that you are now leading towards these goals, our project, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, we are always trying to do that, because we are not interested in just have another program, because there is a ton of different programs outside there. We want you to make this big step or little step towards your goals. And what about the other, programs? Did you participate already in some programs or not yet?
I just started the Finance Booster program. I can't tell you lots because it was just a single lecture, and I don't have enough information to share because it was just the start of the project. And I have big expectations about the matchmaking program that you advised. Thank you. And about the proposal writing bootcamp, I think it's critical for us because our goal actually is by the end of the booster program to prepare ourselves to apply for EIC accelerator and apply for funding, which is which would be the next step in the development of our platform. And so there are other opportunities that I decided not to apply just because of limited time frame. So this is why actually I give 9 of 10, not 10 of 10, because those lectures take your time. And as a solo founder, it's really crucial to be able to manage the team, and education program take your time, but they usually help you a lot.
True. That's the limit of hours is the time which we have. So only 24 hours in a day. Nevertheless, so let's talk and let's return a bit to your product, and let's discuss a bit the future of this niche you're working in. You're building this open knowledge platform for scientists and for engineers. So how do you envision this niche will be developed in the future?
Excellent question. And this is the most favorite thing to talk about for me about Spline Cloud and its role in the process of engineering and science in the future. I would say that I think that the whole development of tools for engineering came wrong way because probably of the corporate ecosystems designed for big enterprises that are actually designed to close knowledge. So I talk with different engineers. Lots of my friends work in different European companies, in automotive industry, in aerospace industry, and they usually share this opinion that they are just because of the policy of closing data, of not publishing results, they're closing data on very simple things like stress in the tube. Just everyone can create this data with simulation, but they create reports and close those reports in their corporate PDM systems because it's corporate data. It has to be closed. And this is ridiculous, actually, because I believe that each company can promote itself by publishing open research data. So they can increase credibility and the whole visibility of their company by sharing data that can help others to do the same stuff, or not even the same stuff, but to incorporate their solutions in their systems. So this is the idea. So I would say that the way engineering industry is now evolving is they are complete hostages of ecosystems, private ecosystems designed to restrict ability of engineers to switch to other products. I'm talking about companies such as Siemens, PTC, Dassault Systems, Autodesk, maybe others that I haven't listed. They provide solutions, complex solutions, very, very complex solutions they have developed for tens of years. They provide solutions that on the one side really help engineers design complex things, and companies work as the whole, but at the same time they don't give ability to reuse data from other industries, from other companies. And this is the breaking point, because lots of effort is just wasted. Lots of effort is wasted. And the cost of products is actually higher than it could be because of complete redoing similar things. And I would say that I envision the future of engineering is that we break away from these chains, maybe not completely, but in some sense. And engineers could use Spline Cloud to, or maybe some other tool, doesn't matter actually, to facilitate each other in their designs and show the way how to do things and reuse work that has been already done by others. So this is the idea.
I think that from what I've heard, the biggest question here is to which extent the companies are ready to share their know-how and to share their internal data with others, because it's like every country is working on its own technology, and it's working because they want to be more, how to say it, better than the other countries. The same is for the company. So I don't want to share with you something because I need to earn the market. I need to be faster in that. So this is collaboration versus competition. And I think that the best point of that, it can be co-opetition, like when the organizations collaborate on something, and this open knowledge will help us to advance as a nations, as a society at all. But this is more philosophical question, and I will not stop by here. I would love to ask you the last question, because there obviously will be other scientists and to be startuppers who want to hear an advice from you. So which piece of advice would you share with the people who are either working on their own company right now as you do, or they are just to start the company?
My advice would be start from generating your own capital. This is crucial.
Earn money first, yeah.
Yeah, you would actually waste lots of nerves, lots of time trying to find financing for your product, for your startup, especially if you are designing something complex that is hard to explain to others. So in the beginning, when we joined EO Incubator, it was really hard to explain complex things, and they insisted that we have to do this in simple words. And after I managed to do that, maybe I haven't, I don't know, it's just my belief that I have managed to do that, I still think that what I am explaining is different from what it is. So there is, when you're designing complex things, you can waste lots of time on finding finance for your complex solution. And instead of that, you can waste this time on building the prototype MVP that will actually show how to do, how your solution works. And this is something that most incubators and accelerators, they don't like this idea because they say, validate your idea another way, in other things. But critical thing is that you have to consider your background. If you are a technical person, if you are an engineer, if you are a software developer, use something that you are best in. And believe me, putting your capital, your own money into your business will just improve your engagement and your motivation to succeed. If you waste this time on finding money for your startup idea that you are not completely engaged with, and you are not working full time on that, in some point of time, you probably will give up this idea, and this idea can be a really great idea. So waste time on raising money on your own, like building your own capital, and bootstrap as hard as you can until you're sure that your product becomes very attractive to investors, and this is it.
Vadym, thank you so much for your thoughts and for the work you are doing right now, and for your impact on open knowledge in the world, especially for the engineers. So that's really great that you shared it. Thank you.
Thank you, Oksana. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Seeds of Bravery listeners. So hope that you had some insights, and right now you can explore more the journey of Spline Cloud. So please explore the product, explore the features, and if you're a scientist or engineer, please have a look, give the feedback to Vadym, or like any other contribution. And please follow us on podcast platforms for more podcasts in the future. See you.